Welcome to Frenzied Printing. My name is Becky. I'll be your host. Let's get into today's video.
What I did to help show the true cost of multicolor printing is I chose a model and I loaded it up in all one color, and then I painted it in several colors, and then I also made this little disc. The disc is only 2 colors. It changes 5 times. All of the filament profiles over here are exactly the same. There's no difference one to the other, just the colors. When you click on the edit pencil, you can see what's going on inside the profile, all the settings that you can change. In this filament profile, I entered 20 as the amount of money that I paid per kilogram. I never pay more than 20. Sometimes I pay less than $20, but I leave it here at 20 just to get a good estimate on cost.
I printed the disc and now it's going to change colors and purge the 1.0 amount. Not exactly sure how much 1.0 is. So there's our poo. I'm going to go ahead and weigh it. Oops. Let's tear that out. Alright. 0.3 grams. We are pooing again, and I made it do this because I could swear sometimes I come down here and this thing is pooping 3 times before it prints. And I'm like, there's no way that that is less than a gram if it's pooping 3 times between every color change. That's a lot of waste. But as I just saw, it only pooped the 1 time for the first color change. Now look, this is the second color change and it's pooping twice. That just doesn't make sense to me because the setting is the same. It's still 1.0. So if the other purge was 1.0 and it only pooped once, and there's the original purge, why is this time pooping twice? So let's move this guy off here to the side. All right, okay, here we go. Poop number 2.67. So that's the second poop.
So like you saw in the video, this little disc I printed out as a test to see how much the waste weighed, the poops. The screen on the printer shows the default setting for flush volume of 1.0, but there was no literature that I could find anywhere that indicated what 1.0 means. Like, how much does that weigh? So I decided to do just this little test to find out, and every other poop weighed 0.33 grams, and every other poop from that weighed 0.67. And that's a whole gram. So for every 2 poops, it's 1 gram. I don't know why every other poop was half. It doesn't make any sense. The blue that it was printing out, when it switched from blue to black, it was 0.33 grams. When it switched from black to blue, it was 0.67. It makes no sense because the filament settings are exactly the same. There's nowhere to change the flush volume in here that I have found. That's what we're going with. It's going to flush 1 gram every other flush. So let's average it out and say half a gram per flush. Seems fair. That this is a video about true cost of multicolor printing is when you slice these models that are exactly the same size. The only difference between them is the color. So this white model, it's showing 48 grams, 48.08 grams, and it's showing 3 hours, 13 minute print time, and it shows 96 cents. This 96-cent cost is coming from that cost that was entered in the filament preset. So when I enter 20 per kilogram, it averages out, okay, so 48.08 grams is going to be 96 cents. This is accurate, but this is not. When you switch it over and slice the colored model, it tells you that the total amount of filament that you're going to use is 54.17 grams. That can't really be accurate. That's only an additional like 6 grams. There's 7 colors here, and it says right here, it's going to change colors 607 times. There is no way if it's going to change color 607 times that it's only going to use 6 more grams of plastic. We just proved it that each poop weighs half a gram. So this is not right. So for each poop, it would weigh or it would cost 1 penny. And here's why it cost 1 penny. If your roll of plastic is a $20 roll of plastic and it's got 1,000 grams of plastic on it, that means each gram is 2 cents. So that means half a gram is half of this, which is 1 cent. Based on my test, I know that I personally need to add 1 penny per filament color change that shows up in the screen to this cost number right here. You can do your own test to figure out how much your machine is purging for each color change and do the same thing I just did. Essentially, this doll went from a $1 boring one color doll to a $7 doll. And that's only for materials. I'm not talking about the cost of time that it took me to color this doll. You saw it in the last video, how long it takes to color an object manually. Do I pay myself for my time? I should. How much do I pay myself? I don't know. Currently, I don't really pay myself for my time. I love doing this stuff. Um, so you have to factor that in. Then you also have to factor in the length of time that your printer is going to be running. The fan is on, the heat is on. How much is that going to cost you in electricity? Don't forget to factor that in. The original doll with one color, super boring, 3 hours, 13 minutes. And the color doll, super cute, she's 15 hours, 14 minutes. So you have to factor that in as well. Don't forget to pay yourself. Don't forget to factor in electricity as well as your plastic. So not just, you know, material only. Make sure you're looking at everything in the big picture. And my next video, I might do a video about how to conserve or how to recover some of the cost. There's a few tricks and a few tips that you can do to help reduce. The really only way to truly like get rid of all of this overhead expense is going to be, I don't know, do solar panels and buy a multi-tool head printer that's going to be very, very, very expensive and probably break down more frequently. But I'll talk about that in the next video. If you guys are interested, put it in the comments for me.
Luna the shop mascot says, if you're enjoying this content and you want to see more, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.